On the fierce battleground of the savannah, the Super Prides, capable of overcoming any giant, but also able to dissolve quite effortlessly. In this realm of no mercy, what brings the essence of survival to the magnificent animals of Africa? Please leave a comment to let us know where you are from. And welcome to Ultimate Predators, the strongest lion pride. In the heart of the burning Savuti Basin, survival is never a given. Every soul brought into this world carries the weight of a life and legacy bond. With the longest gestation period among terrestrial mammals, requiring 660 days to gather energy and nutrients to welcome a 100-kilogram calf. The baby elephant must find its footing within mere moments of arrival. Because at Savuti, the scent of new existence is the signal that awakens the primal instinct of those who follow the path of the hunt. When the Savuti Channel completely receded, in 1981, artificial waterholes were established. Instead of embarking on a journey of hundreds of kilometers to the Okavango Delta, thousands of elephants decided to settle permanently at Savuti and became a colossal yet high-stakes source of sustenance for the Savuti Pride. A super pride of more than 40 members. They transcend the barriers of physical scale to place the African bush elephant upon their menu of survival. From August to November, the migration leaves a colossal biological void, and the African bush elephant occupies more than 90% of the remaining animal biomass. To adapt to these demanding conditions and the scarcity of traditional sustenance, the predators completely restructure their instincts by daring to challenge the giants. On average, every 3 days, one elephant concludes its journey. This specialized sustenance elevates the daily consumption. of each member to double compared to any other typical pride. Until one moonlit night, the nocturnal pursuit is so sudden and profound that even the matriarch of the herd cannot withstand the tide. Countering the aggressive prowess of the hunters is a steadfast fortress, operated under the guidance of the matriarchs. Possessing a brain weighing over 5 kilograms, with a highly developed temporal lobe and hippocampus, she holds invaluable ecological memory. During the most demanding days, the matriarch calmly leads her kin based on memory of underground water veins hidden half a century ago. Through the analysis of acoustic fingerprints, the matriarch accurately distinguishes the sound frequency of an adult male lion. From less formidable pursuers, to reach a decision through infrasound signals below 20 Hz. Losing a matriarch, cortisol levels in the blood of the young rise sharply, softening the immune system and brain development. Making the young one a vulnerable focus for any predators. Fortunately, another female in the herd has offered sustenance to the orphaned young and accepted the responsibility of guidance. However, the high density of the Savuti herds under immense consumption needs has led to a profound transformation of the vegetation. Now, the herd no longer holds the strength to compete with other herds. They are compelled to venture further to seek nutritional resources. And a path away from the reach of the lions. Meanwhile, the sovereignty of the Savuti Pride is not an eternal privilege. From the western Mababe Plains, nomadic male lions, carrying the ambition of acquisition, begin their encroachment upon the territory. In the world of the Savannah Kings, Authority always aligns with the ability to safeguard boundaries. And when the ruler pass away, that order shatters beyond restoration. To protect the youthful generations, the proud elephant hunters are compelled to retreat toward the north. At this moment, the two most formidable forces of the wilderness, the African bush elephant and the Savuti Pride, no longer stand on opposing sides of the battleground. They remain only as wandering entities, diligently seeking their final breath of existence. The journey of hundreds of kilometers toward the northeast has guided the wanderers into Zimbabwe. October in the Zambezi Valley. Is the moment when the Earth's axis and tropical high pressure converge, frequently pushing temperatures beyond 45 degrees Celsius. Every previous advantage of numbers is neutralized. Hydration is a daily metabolic necessity for the Cape buffalo to sustain the flame of existence. A consequence of a nervous system not yet tempered through setback has led these young ones to violate the golden rule of apex predators, strategic patience. In a state of dehydration, the assertiveness of the buffalo is elevated to its zenith. No longer the pursuers, lions become the hunted. By the very ones they hunt. The mother lion has guided the young ones to select and await the opportune moment when the pursuit becomes most fragile. But these Cape buffalo, separated from the herd, seem anything but simple. The male Cape buffalo often depart from the protection of the great herd to establish bachelor groups with only 2 to 5 members. They are known as the Dagger Boys. Every ounce of their energy is channeled toward a single purpose: self-preservation. They are a vast library of behavior, allowing them to interpret every movement of the most formidable pursuers before the engagement even begins. The Pride's strategy is to guide the target into the sandy chutes. The nearly 1-ton weight of the Cape buffalo becomes its own adversary. But the dagger boy completely shatters the Pride's efforts to control its center of gravity. The giant successfully navigates his escape with a physical concession of his tail. This setback uncovers the tactical developing stage of the young hunters. As they have yet to master the rhythm of the engagement and the ability to conclude the pursuit. Before the intense resistance of an entity guarding its final existence. No longer overcoming the giants, the lions are compelled to aim for more optimal pursuits. But the parched sky of the Zambezi Valley is an invisible network of biological intelligence, openly resisting the encroacher. Upon the granite outcrops and steep sand cliffs, the Chakma baboon troops reign like temple guardians who never sleep. With trichromatic vision, similar to that of humans, the Chakma baboon easily uncovers the straw-colored camouflage of the lion within the dry grass. A single sentinel individual requires only a glance to identify even the slightest shift. It is an interspecies signal. The element of surprise is completely neutralized. Transforming the pursuit into an impossible mission even before it begins. The barks of the baboons transform a concealed ambush into an open pursuit. The warthog is still expected to be an accessible target due to its sturdy appearance. But this perception is a miscalculation by the developing hunters. The warthog effortlessly utilizes the flexibility of its joints to execute intricate and sharp maneuvers. Once again, muscular prowess will forever remain an ineffective tool if not guided by a strategic mindset that understands every grain of the battleground. not only wrestling with tenacious pursuits, the youthful pride also endures dual pressure from the environment and the threatening presence of rivals occupying the opposite bank. The lions begin to conquer the heights of the leadwood and acacia canopies. Here, they access the cooling convection currents and an absolute panoramic view of up to 2 kilometers with a retinal structure optimized for detecting movement. Hunger is restructuring the entire neural network and honing the intellect of the lion pride. The young hunters have entered a phase of evolution in apex cognition. They have become strategists, knowing how to wait until the variables of terrain, gravity, and the exhaustion of the opponent converge at a single point to initiate the decisive engagement. The lion pride remains perfectly concealed atop the sandy chutes, where the laws of gravity and friction will soon become potent allies for the pursuers. One buffalo is left behind, with a physique bearing the marks of previous territorial challenges. While the lead female draws all focus from the direct front, the youthful lions immediately advance from the blind spots, establishing anchor points. 2 nearby Cape buffalo return to offer assistance. The lion pride is no longer a group of awkward apprentices. Seizing the perfect temporal window, the mother lion initiates the concluding movement. This successful engagement serves as a milestone marking the evolution of tactical coordination within the young pride. Pride has been restored, and yet the grand gathering of nature has only just begun. The lappet-faced vulture is the largest and most assertive vulture species in Africa. With a gastric pH level nearing 1.0, they possess the ability to neutralize the most formidable pathogens such as anthrax or botulism. Preventing the emergence of imbalances across the entire ecosystem. Here, the youthful lions encounter their final trial, safeguarding their sustenance. Meanwhile, the elephant herd at Savuti welcomes the destined rains of November. The indigenous San and Baye people believe that thunder is the ceremonial drum signaling a cycle of rebirth for Mother Earth. As for the new dynasty of the Savuti Pride, this is the moment their prowess reaches its ultimate threshold, with a cunning asymmetric advantage. The resounding thunder disrupts the infrasound communication. Which serves as the vital bond of the elephant herd. The focus of the Savuti Pride is upon the juveniles and subadults from 4 to 15 years of age, the young males. With their curious nature and the more relaxed protection from the herd. Despite the defensive efforts of the pursuit, the absolute disparity in vision and velocity during the storm determines the outcome. After a profound night, the herd attempts to locate their missing member. Unaware that the young one is 5 kilometers away, the instinct for survival urges it toward the waterhole. But it is too weary to proceed. In the end, the elephant encounters no further struggle. The transition is never an ultimate conclusion. It is merely a conveyance of energy to make space for a new beginning. The matriarch has just welcomed a new male calf. The orphan who was once embraced years ago has now stepped through the threshold of maturity. It assumes the role of safeguarding the younger sibling, much like the way the elder once offered dedication for its sake. A conveyance of the legacy of loyalty through the generations. The savannah may reclaim everything. But it can never erase the essence of grace and the dignity of those who stand together. departing from the perilous sand cliffs of Savuti to advance into Zambia. Reaching the southern extremity of the Great Rift Valley. South Luangwa National Park is a pristine wilderness sanctuary spanning an area of 9,050 square kilometers. In the 1950s, amidst a global context that still regarded hunting as a measure of conquest, the conservationist Norman Carr pioneered the establishment of the walking safari. Here, the Luangwa River is one of the few major river systems in the world, untouched by human intervention. The freedom of the waters has created a characteristic terrain with numerous oxbow lakes and fertile floodplains where the density of leopard and hippopotamus is the highest on the entire continent. Without the need for a roar or an accompanying pride, the leopard governs the night through the stillness and fluidity of a true predator. The scale of this species ranges from 30 to 90 kilograms, depending on gender and environmental conditions, with a body length that can reach nearly 2 meters. The territory of the leopard in the Luangwa Valley region varies significantly by individual and gender. A male may occupy an expanse from 28 to 56 square kilometers, while a female oversees areas from 3 to over 40 square kilometers. These domains often overlap, particularly between males and females during the season of lineage, yet conflict rarely emerges without the element of direct competition. Owing to a diverse dietary repertoire, the leopard adapts seamlessly to various environments, including the arid open woodlands of central Luangwa. A solitary, deliberate, and discreet lifestyle is how the leopard becomes one of the most efficient hunters, possessing stalking skills that are iconic within the predatory realm. The leopard's coat is adorned with rosettes that serve as a perfect veil of camouflage. With nocturnal vision approximately 7 times that of a human, they utilize the darkness as a cloak, covering every movement. When the moment is ripe, they surge with a velocity that can reach 58 kilometers per hour. Once the pursuit has been concluded, the leopard never leaves the result upon the ground. They understand that other carnivores will not overlook an effortless opportunity. The Cape baboon begins its day with confidence and commotion, as if this land is a familiar sanctuary. This is a large primate, highly intelligent, and among the most organized in southern Africa. An adult male can weigh up to 40 kilograms and reach over 1.2 meters in length. Approximately triple the average mass of a female. They exist in troops of 20 to 80 individuals, in which a dominant male assumes the role of guiding movement, providing guardianship, and maintaining order. These enduring social bonds not only unify the troop when encountering a predator, but also foster a community with high capacities for learning and adaptation. As true omnivores, the Cape baboon consumes almost anything digestible, even small fauna. The Cape baboon often monitors the seasonal shifts of resources, particularly the fruiting groves along the Luangwa River or near the wetlands during the rainy season. As the dry season arrives, the troops retreat to the highlands, assisting them in avoiding potential predators. Despite being a focal point for hunters, the Cape baboon has been documented to organize collective responses for defense. The communication capabilities of this species are regarded as among the most sophisticated within the realm of non-human primates. They utilize over 30 distinct vocalizations combined with facial expressions and body postures to warn, coordinate, or convey emotions within the troop. Behavioral studies from the Wildlife Conservation Society during the 2023 to 2024 period confirm that the physical language of the Cape baboon can shift depending on the social context, the terrain, and the intricate relationships between individuals in the troop. The impala possesses neither claws nor sharp fangs. Only a keen intuition and instantaneous reflexes to navigate their existence amidst a wilderness filled with profound challenges. With an average mass ranging from 40 to 75 kilograms and a shoulder height of approximately 90 centimeters, the impala possesses a perfected physical proportion, capable of leaps extending up to 10 meters in length and 3 meters in height. The impala may be perceived as an essential nutritional link in the eyes of many carnivores in South Luangwa. Yet they are by no means passive. Beyond physical prowess, the impala employs highly effective communal strategies. Living within a herd, minimizes the risk of being a focal point, aided by the dilution effect. The dietary regimen of the impala is remarkably fluid. They primarily graze upon grasses, yet will consume leaves, young shoots, or even fruits when necessary. The ability to transition their sustenance allows the impala to endure across various climates and vegetation types. A vital advantage in an ecosystem continuously reshaped by environmental shifts. A being frequently misunderstood by many, the spotted hyena. Each individual is a fragment of an organized community known as a clan. A matriarchal social structure where the females hold sovereignty. A clan may comprise up to 80 individuals, dispersed across a vast territorial range, yet bound together through unique social rituals. The fission-fusion structure of the clan grants the hyena fluidity in both procurement and resource management. Existing far beyond the scavenger label often imposed by human perception in approximately 60% of instances. The spotted hyena actively organizes large-scale, cooperative, and efficient pursuits. When targeting substantial pursuits, they typically coordinate in groups of 3 to 15 individuals, establishing a clear formation and distribution of roles. With a velocity of up to 60 kilometers per hour and superior endurance, they can maintain the pursuit over distances of several kilometers. The bite force of the spotted hyena reaches 4,500 newtons, the most formidable among all carnivorous mammals. Within the ecological tapestry of South Luangwa, the role of the spotted hyena includes the processing of organic remains. A vital ecological service that minimizes the risk of pathogen outbreaks. Their dietary versatility and highly resilient physiology represent a profound survival advantage. Less clamorous than central Luangwa, it is the very tranquility of the southern loop and Ensefu sector that nurtures the Thornycroft's giraffe, an endemic subspecies found nowhere else on Earth. Although restricted to the Luangwa Valley, primarily within South Luangwa National Park and segments of Luambe National Park. The Thornycroft's giraffe still moves according to the cycles of the dry and rainy seasons, along the ecological corridors of the Luangwa River in pursuit of fresh foliage and secure water sources. This movement is not a long-distance migration, such as that seen among the herbivores of the Serengeti Plains. Yet it plays an essential role in maintaining biological equilibrium. Preventing the overutilization of vegetation in any fixed area. The southern loop and Nsefu sector also serve as the sanctuary for the Crawshay's zebra. This is a rare subspecies of the plains zebra. They primarily inhabit the dry grasslands and savannas to the east of the Luangwa River. The Crawshay's zebra possesses a highly distinctive patterning, void of the shadow stripes, commonly seen in the Burchell's zebra. The lion has no need for a display of power. Its mere presence is enough to command the caution of the entire savanna. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the ancestors of the lion once traversed the ice fields of Europe, the deserts of the Middle East, and the expansive African plains. But today their footprints are primarily found within sub-Saharan Africa, with a single relict population remaining in India. South Luangwa stands as one of the final natural strongholds, maintaining a stable and high-density population. Lions exist in social units known as a pride, with the lionesses serving as the soul of the group. Meanwhile, the male lion assumes the duty of territorial guardianship. From May to October, the dry season renders water sources scarce and vegetation brittle, compelling most fauna to converge upon the final remaining pools. Their fluid physiology allows for leaps exceeding 11 meters in a single bound. According to 2024 statistics from Panthera and the IUCN Red List, the lion population in Africa has declined by over 40% in the last 30 years, with total estimates now ranging between only 20,000 and 25,000 individuals in the wild. South Luangwa remains a beacon of hope thanks to rigorous conservation efforts, anti-poaching initiatives, satellite monitoring of the prides, and elevating the awareness of local communities. Certain renowned prides in central Luangwa, such as the Big Pride, which once numbered over 30 individuals, have now diverged into several smaller groups. They are dispersed around regions such as Mwamba and Nsefu, continuing to write the saga of their dynasty upon the grasslands and red soils of this valley. The Battleground is an iconic eagle endemic to sub-Saharan Africa. Its signature flight pattern, resembling a dry leaf tossed by the wind, is the product of a truncated tail unlike any other eagle species. The territory of a battler spans approximately 650 square kilometers. They are uncompromising toward encroachers, particularly those of the same gender. They are exemplary opportunists, equally adept at pursuing small fauna, such as birds, reptiles, and insects. As they are at processing the remains of larger beings, they are often among the first to identify organic remains from a distance, surpassed only by the vultures. Where such remains are often the legacy of great pursuits, the battleur functions as a vital agent of ecological purification. The battleur frequently bathes in the pools, lingering after the rain, thereafter perching upon high branches with wings outspread to dry its dense plumage and absorb the solar warmth. Upon the slopes of the Muchinga escarpment, the call of the trumpeter hornbill resonates like ancient fanfares. A substantial grey bill extends forward, surmounted by a casque. A hollow formation utilized to amplify resonance. The trumpeter hornbill typically emerges in social groups, ranging from a solitary pair to assemblies as large as 50 individuals, converging within fruiting groves or collective roosting sites. As the season of lineage arrives, the female trumpeter hornbill encloses herself within a tree cavity. Through that opening, the male provides sustenance for both the mother and the precious clutch within. One generation succeeds another, and their echoing resonance continues to serve as the wild symphony of this remote land, where every being maintains a vital role in the intricate dance of natural existence. Amidst the rocky ridges ascending toward the west, life continues to narrate its story in its own unique way, with a rhythm both cautious and enduring. At an elevation of approximately 1,400 meters above sea level, the climate here is cooler than in the basin. Brief rains and surface waters nearly vanish as the dry season lengthens. A distinct geographical challenge, yet an ideal sanctuary for the vervet monkey to quietly sustain its existence. Their dietary repertoire is remarkably diverse, allowing them to adapt to the temporary scarcity of natural resources during the dry months. They exist in large troops of 20 to 30 individuals, occasionally exceeding 50, forming a miniature society with clear hierarchies. The social structure is distinctly divided for both males and females. Males typically hold the dominant roles. However, upon reaching maturity, they will depart the natal troop to join a different group, thereby enhancing genetic diversity and minimizing the risk of inbreeding. The vervet monkey has developed a rich and astonishing suite of communication skills. They utilize over 60 gestures and 36 distinct vocalizations, each signal assigned to a specific purpose. The vervet monkey is primarily diurnal, spending the vast majority of its time upon the ground foraging. Yet as night descends, the entire group retreats to the canopy, averaging 7.7 meters in height, to rest and secure the troop against nocturnal pursuers. 5. The wetlands, territorial struggles of the giants. Advancing steadily toward the south, the boundary between existence and transition is redrawn by the systems of the Luangwa and Kapamba lagoons. The reality within South Luangwa is that an average annual precipitation of 700 to 1,200 millimeters cannot keep pace with the rate of evaporation due to the phenomenon of a negative water balance. As the primary flow of the Luangwa River recedes, it leaves behind ephemeral wetlands, intricate tangles of reeds and moist alluvial soils. On one hand, it serves as a sanctuary for vibrant assemblies of aquatic birds. On the other, it stands as a meticulously orchestrated arena of destiny for the predators. Unbeknownst to many, just beneath that surface, the Nile crocodile maintains its vigil. With a length that can reach 6 meters and a mass exceeding 680 kilograms, this is the largest reptilian species in Africa. They possess the most formidable bite force ever documented in the animal kingdom, reaching 22,000 newtons, approximately 8 times the compressive force of a great white shark. The Nile crocodile is a quintessential opportunist. Their primary sustenance consists of fish, yet their regimen expands to include waterfowl, mid-sized mammals, and even smaller reptiles, including their own kind when necessity dictates. They dominate the shallows and sandbanks, becoming most active during the early dawn or late twilight. They also navigate upstream through secondary tributaries, utilizing their powerful tails to propel through the water. or delivering a sweeping lateral strike across the surface to disorient their target. Contrasting their rugged and wild exterior, the Nile crocodile exhibits a remarkably tender side when nurturing its offspring. The season of lineage begins at the conclusion of the dry season. Each reproductive cycle, they may deposit between 25 and 80 eggs. The gender of the hatchlings is determined entirely by temperature. Approximately 31.6 degrees Celsius typically results in males, while temperatures above or below this threshold will bring forth females. As the eggs approach hatching, the matriarch uses her snout to gently lift each egg, transporting them to the water's edge. Both parents may safeguard the hatchlings during their initial weeks. This is a period of high mortality due to predatory birds, large fish, and even other mature Nile crocodiles. The lifespan of this species can exceed 50 years in controlled environments, with numerous individuals in the wild documented to live beyond 60 years. However, the Nile crocodile does not hold absolute sovereignty over the marshlands. There is a resident that even the largest predator of the Dark Continent regards with caution: the hippopotamus. There is an astonishing truth confirmed through genetic analysis. The hippo is the closest terrestrial relative to whales and dolphins. They share a common ancestor that lived approximately 55 million years ago, descending from a group of ancient semi-aquatic ungulates. This explains why the hippo, despite living in fresh water, possesses biological traits similar to marine mammals. Each day, the hippo spends the majority of its time submerged. Though semi-aquatic, they do not swim. Rather, they walk or bound lightly along the riverbed. The hippo possesses a nearly hairless skin that is extremely sensitive to sunlight. Their bodies naturally secrete a pale pink fluid, often misinterpreted as blood sweat. But in reality, it is a biological compound functioning as a natural sunscreen, providing antibacterial protection and moisture. As night descends, the hippo emerges from the water along well-trodden paths by the lagoon's edge, beginning its foraging journey. Each night, a hippo can consume up to 40 kilograms of vegetation, venturing as far as 8 kilometers from the lagoon to find optimal nutrition. Contrasting their ponderous appearance in water, a hippo sensing a threat can accelerate to 48 kilometers per hour on land. They exist in social groups called pods, typically comprising a dominant male, several females, and their young. Each pod monitors a specific aquatic territory, and the male will safeguard the domain through vocalizations, threat displays, and direct engagement if necessary. Reproduction occurs underwater, usually at the conclusion of the rainy season, following a gestation period of approximately 8 months. Each birth produces a single calf weighing between 25 and 45 kilograms. The young can nurse both underwater and on land, and are strictly protected by the mother throughout their inaugural year. The puku selects the inundated floodplains and the fringes of open woodlands, where vegetation flourishes year-round, sustained by the lingering moisture of the rainy season. Rather than venturing out in the full glare of day or risking the profound dark of night, the puku chooses the transitional windows of light, when movements become ambiguous and the rhythm of the pursuer slows. The social structure of the puku is not overly complex, yet highly efficient. Mature males maintain individual territories, remaining ever vigilant toward rivals. Within these domains, female groups of 6 to 20 individuals reside and move with fluidity. The gestation period for a female puku extends to 8 months, typically resulting in the birth of a single offspring. Following birth, the young are secreted within dense thickets or tall grasses for nearly 6 months, an unusually long duration compared to many other antelope species. The mother returns daily to provide nourishment, quietly safeguarding this new spark of life from the subtle shadows lurking along the riverbank. An adult male African elephant can weigh up to 6,350 kilograms and stand over 4 meters tall, nearly equivalent to a 2-story structure. A profound physical burden during the dry season when sustenance and water become scarce. Their expansive ears, interlaced with a dense network of blood vessels, function as natural thermoregulation panels, assisting their colossal bodies in dissipating heat amidst the valley's searing sun. The trunk, sophisticated and fluid thanks to over 40,000 individual muscles, serves as a versatile instrument for nourishment, communication, and even as a snorkel when navigating deep river crossings. The tusks are upper incisors that grow throughout their lifespan, essential tools for deconstructing trees, forging paths through dense thickets, or providing defense against potential threats. The African elephant carves trails through the bush and mopaine woodlands, opening corridors for smaller species. By clearing vegetation and creating forest openings, they facilitate the emergence of new floral growth. With every movement, they disperse seeds within their dung, a form of natural reforestation that no other being can replicate as effectively. The matriarch possesses knowledge of even the harshest droughts, recalling the paths to water sources that may have run dry years prior. When a member of the herd reaches the end of its journey, the survivors often stand in a silent vigil, gently touching the remains with their trunks. Science identifies this as a manifestation of emotional intelligence, a rare depth within the animal kingdom. According to data from the World Wildlife Fund released in 2024, the total population of African elephants is estimated at approximately 415,000 individuals, representing a decline of nearly 30% compared to 2 decades ago. Yet, within the Luangwa region, where community conservation initiatives, armed ranger patrols, and GPS tracking technologies are integrated, the herds still possess a window of opportunity to continue their ancient saga. The call of the African fish eagle, the iconic avian predator of Zambia. It stands as a sovereign symbol not only here, but also for Zimbabwe and South Sudan. They are widely distributed across sub-Saharan Africa, yet remain intimately tethered to riparian environments, where aquatic resources are abundant. The African fish eagle typically selects a high vantage point upon a branch near the water's surface for observation. Rough structures on the soles of the feet, combined with sharply curved talons, create an idealized gripping mechanism, ensuring a firm hold on slippery prey amidst the air. When necessity dictates, they may also retreat toward the marshes to pursue small waterfowl, reptiles, or even consume organic remains. The African fish eagle exhibits kleptoparasite behavior, possessing the capability to commandeer sustenance from other avian species such as kingfishers or herons. This species is monogamous and typically forms a lifelong bond. Nests are constructed from branches, positioned atop tall trees flanking rivers or lagoons. These structures can reach 2 meters in diameter and are reused and expanded annually. During each reproductive cycle, a pair usually deposits 1 to 3 eggs, with both parents sharing the responsibilities of incubation and nurturing the young. Within the central Luangwa ecosystem, the African fish eagle functions as a vital biological indicator. Their consistent presence signals that the river systems and lagoons maintain sufficient clarity and biological productivity to support fish and other aquatic life. Ecologically, their role in managing small fish populations assists in balancing the relationships within the aquatic systems, preventing population surges that could destabilize nutrient equilibrium. The yellow-billed stork favors shallow reaches with depths of 10 to 40 centimeters, where the movement of small fish, amphibians, and aquatic insects is constrained, becoming the perfect target for their signature foraging technique. To draw prey from the silt and vegetation, they utilize one foot to gently stir the bottom of the lagoon, creating a flushing effect. As fish, crustaceans, or insects are exposed, the swift reflex of the golden bill completes the task. They employ the snap bill reflex, a tactile feeding response so rapid it occurs in approximately 0.025 seconds. The yellow-billed stork does not forage in isolation, but typically operates in groups, sometimes numbering in the dozens. They are also colonial nesters, constructing substantial stick nests atop trees flanking the lagoons, or within mopane clusters near the water. Each nest can reach nearly 1 meter in height and is repurposed over multiple seasons. Hatchlings are nourished through regurgitation by the parents and are even kept cool through wing fanning, or by having water trickle directly into their waiting bills. As a mid-level carnivore within the freshwater food chain, the yellow-billed stork regulates the density of small fish, crustaceans, and insects, indirectly adjusting the equilibrium between trophic levels. Furthermore, their water-stirring predatory behavior creates a ripple effect, assisting other species such as egrets, herons, or jacanas in exploiting the disturbed food sources. This commensalism fosters a multi-layered, stable, and reciprocal biological network. The African spoonbill possesses an average height of approximately 90 centimeters, a wingspan of 120 centimeters, and a mass ranging from 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms. When foraging, they keep the bill slightly agape and sweep it through the water in a rhythmic arc. As soon as prey, such as small fish, crustaceans, or larvae, comes into contact with the inner edges of the bill, the snapping reflex is triggered in less than 0.03 seconds. In seasonal lagoon systems like Luangwa and Kapamba, as the waters recede after the rainy season, leaving behind silt-rich shallows, this predatory strategy reaches its maximum efficiency. Their silent yet continuous foraging habits assist in regulating the density of benthic organisms, while simultaneously facilitating the dispersal of dissolved oxygen, contributing to the natural improvement of water quality. Southern carmine bee-eaters' migratory journey is a delicate 3-stage cycle. They begin their season of renewal along the Zambezi River or within the Caprivi Strip of Namibia. During the season of nesting, the soft clay banks of the Luangwa transform into a grand architectural site. The southern carmine bee-eater is a communal species. Each dwelling is a tunnel that can reach a depth of 2 meters, leading to a modest and secure chamber within. Following this period, they journey southward, seeking refuge from the early seasonal rains. before finally settling for the winter in regions near equatorial Africa, where sustenance is present throughout the year. Despite being known as a bee-eater, their menu also includes termites, cicadas, dragonflies, butterflies, and grasshoppers. Any creature that happens to venture from its sanctuary. Their technique for gathering nourishment relies on a strategy known as hawking. Natural fires frequently occur toward the end of the dry season. That is when the southern carmine bee-eater appears. A bountiful feast is presented amidst the heat, the haze, and the profound instinct to endure. The African wild dog is a master of the art of coordinated living. They dwell in packs of 6 to 20 individuals, guided by a dominant pair who provide direction. Every young member receives the gentle care of the entire pack, and even those who are no longer whole are shared the gift of nourishment. Even their movement patterns differ from most social species. It is the females who depart from the family upon reaching maturity, to ensure genetic diversity and expand the lineage for future generations. Unlike any other relative in the canine family, the African wild dog is the sole surviving member of the genus Lycaon, distinguished by unique biological traits such as having only 4 toes on each foot instead of 5, along with a dappled coat of brown, black, white, and yellow patches that are unique to each individual. Large, rounded ears help amplify every vibration of sound, while assisting in regulating body temperature during long journeys under the intense heat of the dry tropics. Individuals constantly connect with one another through melodic calls, body language, and even sneezing, a special form of voting used to reach a consensus before departing or moving. Their success rate in seeking sustenance is recorded at up to 80%, surpassing even the lion, which typically achieves about 25 to 30%. Targets are often the impala, bushbuck, or young wildebeest, species that live in herds and tend to scatter when faced with pressure. They can maintain a velocity of approximately 60 kilometers per hour over long distances, leading their counterparts to exhaust their energy before completing their journey of life. The presence of the African wild dog helps preserve the balance of nature, relieving pressure on the vegetation and regulating population levels of those they pursue. However, this species is currently classified as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, with the adult population numbering only about 6,600 in the wild, distributed across 39 small populations, and often facing genetic challenges due to the fragmentation of natural migratory corridors. Challenges from health concerns such as canine distemper or rabies, along with pressure from agricultural expansion and roads crossing through the wilderness, are gradually narrowing the space for the species to endure. Fortunately, the population in South Luangwa is showing signs of renewal thanks to effective conservation policies and a decrease in unfavorable interactions between humanity and the natural world. In the fierce journey of endurance within the wild savanna, an eternal truth of nature is revealed. The true crown of the plains is not forged by numbers or by mere physical strength alone. It is tempered by the iron discipline to master instinct, the keen perception to turn the terrain into an ally, and the courage to adapt and persist against the greatest trials of the natural world. Have you discovered the answer to which pack truly rules the savannah? Please share your thoughts in the comments section, and remember to like and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you do not miss our next journeys.